Hey, this is Indy here with Ultimate Tool Reviews. Well, I just picked up off eBay. I'm a big eBay fan, love picking up eBay deals, and I needed a brad nailer. And I was looking at a few different deals between Milwaukee, Makita, DeWalt, and I ended up finding this Milwaukee. Came with a 5 amp hour battery for about 180 bucks, free shipping. Probably one of the best deals I've seen on a brad nailer. Got about 3 years left on the warranty, which is pretty cool. And it looks like it was used by someone who did some painting or maybe drywall. So all I'm going to do here is just see if I can clean this up a little bit, and we'll see if I can make it look like new. It does work perfectly, which is nice, and these things are pretty expensive. They run about $280, $300, depending if they're on sale or not at Home Depot. So always nice grabbing a nice deal on one. And I've got no problem putting a little bit of cleaning time in these just to save over $100 on these. So let's get going here. So what I've got is I've got a cleaner degreaser, kind of like Grease Lightning over here. I like to use this first. I've got a bucket of just warm water here on my right, and I've also got a little bit of Dawn and warm water over here as well. So I've got a few rags, a few delicate brushes here, so let's get cleaning up and see what we can do. You always want to be careful to not get any liquid inside the tool. Most tools can handle a little bit of liquid, but if you can prevent it, that's always the best way to go. So I like to use a little bit of degreaser to wipe down the tool with initially. That'll get a lot of, oils and a few other interesting things off the tool you don't want to be on there as you're cleaning it. Any bits of grittiness as well. Not sure much of this paint I'll be able to get off here, but I'll see what I can do. I know some people are a fan of these little clips here, but I've never really been a fan of the belt clips myself. I always set my tools down on their side or back in my bag. I don't work outside too much with these types of tools. I'm generally inside, so I like to keep that not on my belt clip. There we go. I can always put that back on too. Actually pretty clean, still works. So one thing that seems like every time I find one of these used, most people don't know this, but adjust the camera a little bit here, is that these tips are actually, you can change these out and they generally store right down here in these Milwaukee nailers. This is the Gen 2, by the way. I see these all over the place, and always heard good things about the Gen 2s, so glad I was finally able to find a good deal on one and pick one up. To get the brush to get in there a little bit more. And also too, if you got any Milwaukee tools, you want to make sure you keep this label as clean as possible. This is how they find your warranty. And if you didn't know, the warranty, if you want to check and see how long or how old the tool is, if you look right here, let me get this camera, there we go. So you got the K46AD. It's always going to be the AD. After that, your next four numbers are going to be, the first two are the year, and the second two are going to be the week. So this was made in the 4th week, so January 2020 is when this was made. So not bad for warranty left on that. I never really have too many issues with Milwaukee tools for warranty. You treat your tools right, they'll treat you right as well too. All right, so got that wiped off now. Of course, there's still a good amount of debris on here, so let's see if I can get some of this paint off. Yeah, look at that. The Dawn is taking that right off. That is nice. Now, just be careful getting any Dawn or water around any of the openings of the tool as well. But I'm just going to go slow, make sure I wipe off any drips as well. I'm not going to do anything to the label here. I don't want to damage that label at all. I'll keep that intact. That's basically my warranty card right now, so always respect that. Oh, and in case you guys were curious, let me show you the battery that came with this too. Here's my my drawer of my DeWalt and Milwaukee. So here's that battery that came with it. Obviously a little bit dirty. I don't really clean these up too much because they're just batteries and they last a couple of years. You throw them out then after that. Or if you can find a nice place I can recycle them too, it's always cool to have. But let's get back to clean this up. And that is my drawer of tools there. And that's just my DeWalt and my Milwaukee tools. I've got another couple drawers for my Makita stuff. I want to do a separate video on tool brands as well. Kind of why I have so much Makita. I want to be careful getting around that nailer there too. Actually, the nail slot there. There we go, this thing cleaned up pretty good. So like I was about this power tool plastic, as you could call it, is generally pretty easy to clean. I always have a drill or two that I use for mixing concrete, and that stuff can get pretty nasty. When you're mixing concrete, and stuff's kind of hard to get off at times, but yeah, if you really work at it with some Dawn, you can get all that stuff off and make it look brand new, which is pretty cool. Trick is always just take your time and just keep scrubbing. Probably not going to get too much on the grips here, but let me see if I can. If you take your nail, you can get a lot of the stuff on here. Nothing really sticks to this black rubberized material too well, but the problem is the stuff gets in the grooves there, and then it actually gets pretty hard to take out. Is always that trick. I know I did another video on a M18 Surge that I cleaned up as well too. I think I went for like 40 bucks on eBay, and I actually ended up taking that thing apart. Now I wouldn't recommend doing that with a nailer. They can get a little more complicated with the internals. Not something I'm comfortable doing myself, is taking apart one of these, especially that's under warranty still, and these things aren't necessarily cheap either. All right, that's like one side pretty clean here. Let's get this side going. And this thing wasn't in too bad a shape either, so that's always nice. If you can find the tool that, it just looks used, that can always get you a nice discount. Let me get zoomed in here a little bit for you. There we go. I got this brush actually at Harbor Freight. Came in a nice little kit. A couple brushes just for cleaning up stuff. And some of the metal brushes were in here too, which is nice. I bought it just for those metal brushes actually, because I need to clean up some rusty spots on a few of some tools ahead. There we go. Get that paint off this black metal slide here. Looks Looks like most of it's coming off. There we go. A little bit of abrasion gets that off. That's nice. Let's try to get in there a little more. That one spot right there, if I can get that off, that'll look pretty nice. Oh, it's got a little bit of texture in there. That's why it's not going to come off too easily. But not a big deal. You can never really perfectly clean anything. If we see here, we got some of that junk just kind of trapped in there. If you take your fingernail, you can get that stuff out pretty easily. Generally, nothing sticks to that too much, which is nice. Now up here, this is all just kind of scuffs here, so that's not gonna be coming off at all. But I'll wash it down anyways. That's still gonna be there. So most of this stuff's coming off here. There's a little bit of paint missing off the bottom of the E's there on the Milwaukee, but that's actually a pretty easy fix. If you get like a white Sharpie, a little bit of white paint, that stuff normally stays back in place whenever you repaint that. I've done that a few times now. You gotta be really careful though when you get in there with white paint, just to make it look like it's factory. If you get any of that stuff anywhere else, it just kind of messes it up. It looks a little funky. I kind of messed up with my Surge that I did a while back. I had some white paint there. It looked a little weird, but it looks better than when it did before though, so that's sometimes all that matters. I'll get in there a little bit of dirt trapped in there. There we go. So all I've got left on here is, of course, you know, some scuffs left. Looks like I got most of the paint off. I'm not gonna work too hard up here where I keep the nails because I don't want to get anything rusty up there, anything too wet. But overall, it's looking a lot better than it did before. Of course, I've got a little bit of stuff in here. Let me try to work that out quickly. Never gonna get that perfect in there, but it's not too bad. And of course, you got the battery terminal down here. So let me work my way in there a little bit. Be really careful to not get any excess water in here. With a fresh towel as well. So once you get a little bit of Dawn and water on some of that paint, on that plastic, it comes right off, which is nice. You're just gonna want to bunch that rag up a little bit to get into these and get these cleaned up. And there we go. So of course this is scuffs here from actually sliding the battery in and out. Trying to get these last bits of paint off there. There we go. And a little bit of paint in there. I'm not going to work on that too hard there, but not bad at all. Got most of that paint off now. Just want to make sure I've got it as clean as possible. Some of the paint is still here. See if I can just get that off my fingernail. Just that little bits of specks of paint left on there. That's gonna be hard to get clean in there unless you get like maybe like a Q-tip in there. Get that even cleaner, but not bad though. I actually got most of that stuff off, and it's a lot cleaner now. So open this up. I'm just gonna pull this off here for now. I'm gonna wipe this down with just some degreaser in here. Just keep it clean, prevent any jams or misfires. Don't actually spray anything directly in here as well. You're just gonna wanna lightly clean this out. What I'm doing is also rubbing my finger in each of these grooves in here too. So getting all that dust and debris out of there as well. All right, there we go. Much cleaner now. Sounds a lot better too. All right, so not bad for what it is. A little bit of paint up here still I missed. It could actually be a scuff or a permanent marker, which I'm getting a permanent marker off there. Probably permanent marker there. That's not going to come off too well. So anyways, this is about what you can do in just about, what do we got, about 16 minutes or so of lightly cleaning. This thing was, decently covered in paint before when I got it, and pull most of the paint off, make it look pretty good. What I can do now too is, I gotta get some new ones, but get some more white Sharpies, just clean this up a little bit here, and this thing will look like it's only been on the job for a week then. So not bad what you can do with these, just clean up a little bit, and let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. If you want me to do more of just, tool cleanups that I find good deals on eBay, just clean up a little bit, make them look nice and new, and go from there. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and take care.